of you just confirm screen visible?
Yeah, yes, Manali.
Oh, thanks. So yesterday we have we have covered this topic. This like just the introduction topic area of responsibility and schedule processes, and this is the topic descriptive flexibles which we have learned. So just please go through that video because this is the important one. Like throughout Oracle, whatever modules are there, for every module this topic is useful. Like how we can create the flex field. I'll just give some introduction. Like flex fields are the fields. Like on the instance, whenever we are log into that instance, we are seeing some fields over there. Like we are creating a requisition, we are creating interview, we are scheduling interview for the candidate. So for every candidate or for every functionality, there are fields which are provided by Oracle. Those are the seeded fields. But what if like client want to add few more fields? So yeah, that we have that option. We have called that fields as the extra fields, and those are basically the descriptive flex fields in the system. So that's the way like we have seen how we can configure a flex field for particularly for the job requisition. But there are based on the different page, like we can configure for the job offer, we can configure for the absence management. So for the different modules and for the different functionalities, we can configure this. So I just want you to just go through the video, whatever assignment I have given. Just follow that. Just try creating the flex field. Okay. So at least I want you to just practice this. I hope Mehak have done this, whatever we have learned yesterday, because I want to give some use cases around this flex field. Okay, just go through the topic. Okay. So we have done with this topic, talent community we have seen. So basically this one topic is remaining questionnaire configuration. Then we'll see in today's session like how to create offer letter and all. For this agency and campaigns, I'll just introduce you to the topic and I'll share the test cases with you so that you will know what are the like how agent can log in into the system and how they can like create candidates. Agent have only minimal access and then interview functionality. Uh, I'll just walk you through this interview functionality because we have already discussed this interview functionality earlier. So there are two major topics pending. One is checklist. This is a part of onboarding. Like one particular candidate is into the system, like move to the pending worker. Then this part comes. Generally, this is not a part of recruitment. It is called as onboarding type. So checklist is pending, and one more is which is a part of like all modules approval rules. So these two major topics are pending. Today, I'll just uh, walk you through the remaining topic, like how we can, yeah, this one is their questionnaire configuration. So these are the topics. So agency and campaigns. So whenever when you log in with the instance as a recruiter, okay, this is the recruiter login. So under the my client group, when we navigate to the hiring, we have already done the test cases for creating requisition, adding candidate to the requisition, right? Even I have explained the interview functionality. Just confirm me, am I audible clearly?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So I hope everyone knows how to create requisition in the system, right? And
Yes.
there are ways for getting the candidates on the requisition. So there are two ways, like we can get the candidate, or more than two. There are few other ways, like agents also help. recruiters to get the candidate for the requisition. So majorly there are two ways: internal and external candidate. These are the type of candidate you can see. Okay. So for my if you want, my question to you is, like, if I particularly for this requisition or any kind of requisition, I just want to show this requisition to external candidate, not to the internal candidate. How we can achieve that? Do you understand, or you want me to repeat my question? Just note it down. For any requisition, I want to post that particular requisition, or I want to show that particular requisition for the external candidate. In another way, just for requisition, I want to get only external candidate. I don't want a candidate from the internal as an internal candidate or the internal employee. So how we can restrict that thing on the requisition?
When you configure, right, that one we can just choose only external.
Yeah, when configure means whenever we are posting this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So whenever we are posting this, there are two options. If you remember, internal and external. So from here you can restrict this thing. Like for there are two requisitions for which uh, organization may want only external candidate. In that case, you will post that requisition on external career site, and whoever is applying for through that external career site, or whoever is the external employee, those only can see that particular requisition. Yeah. And for the internal, the same thing. Like if you don't want to post for the external, if you want any kind of vacancy only for the, particularly there are few vacancies like global transfer, intern transfer, all those kinds, they are posting requisition for the internal careers. So that's one. Okay. So we already know how to create requisition, how to apply for the requisition. We have done that test cases. Interview functionality is like, there are two ways. Like for this particular requisition, if I want to schedule two levels of interview or three levels of interview, so what I'll do is I'll just move to interview tab. This is on the requisition I'm doing. Okay, you can see this is automated interview invitation. This is one more functionality got added. Then CV, I'll just add. Currently here there is one interview schedule. Schedule is phone screening. This is the one type of interview. I just want one more. So I just want one more interview to be scheduled. Like one is phone screening. After phone screening, there will be hiring manager round. Okay, so I'll just choose that template. Who will be the owner? Just give us for test with you. You can select the owner based on requirement. Generally, the recruiters are the one who are owner for this interview. But since we are using this as a hiring manager, so you can choose the owner as a hiring manager. And then just you have to enter the location details. If it is in-person interview, if it is web conference, you just have to provide the link. I'm just putting any random link over here. Currently, there is no validation, like they are just verifying whether it is link or not. Here and for this particular interview, if you can select this, candidate can cancel interview, candidate can't make any last minute change, you can have option to choose that. Okay, so click on continue and final. So this is uh, we can call it as a scheduling interview template. So particularly we have selected this template. One round of interview for screening, maybe a recruiter is the one who is taking phone screening. Then another round of interviews, hiring manager. If you want, you can add one more schedule or the one more template, and based on the requirement and based on the candidate skills and everything, they can choose. You can see there are these are the different templates. Again, these templates are coming from the backend configuration, like through HDL or through method. There are interview templates are configured. Currently, there are only this many templates are configured. That's why it is showing this. So some organization may have different structures of interview. So based on that, they can add this template. Now you can see we have added this functionality. So for the Oracle, the rule for interview is you have to first add interview template on the requisition. Then only you can schedule interview for the candidates. Now what I'll do is I want to schedule interview for the candidate. So you will just navigate to this thing. This candidate is already offer accepted state. You can see. I just want to add interview for this. Just open the candidate. So what you can do is like for this candidate, currently we are on the candidate who is applied for this requisition. So if you click on the candidate interview, you can see there is no interview as in schedule for this candidate. So if you want, like if a recruiter want this particular candidate, only these two templates are available. Like for this particular requisition, only two options were there, two rounds of interview. So first will be screening, and you just have to select the date and time. Just choose then 4:47 p.m. And this remember it, choose tomorrow date. Next on same date, just 1 hour interview, 5:57. Other everything is there. Still, if like recruiter want, like earlier in the template, they have already given wave conference interview. But if recruiter wants this particular should round should be a either in person or phone screen. Currently, this is the phone screen. So you can just add interview type of interview over there, and you have to select the interviewer. Like phone screening, who is the interviewer? So I'll select one some other guy, Mark Winton. So it is the person who is taking phone screening. Now, whenever you are choosing interviewer over here, no, the notification will trigger to the interviewer. On that day, that particular instance, when we are checking, this notification were not enabled. So you can just try out today, just reset this mark interview and check whether no notification is went or not. Then I'll click on save and close. This is the first round of interview. Okay, once it is clear, then based on that feedback, if you want to schedule second, then recruiter have access to schedule those interviews. So generally, the recruiter is the one who. So if you want, you can add one more interview for this candidate. Okay. So this is a way interview functionality works. If for any kind of requisition, if interview template is not there, then you can't add interview for the particular candidate. So first you have to ensure that there should be an interview template. Currently, this particular requisition is in progress. Somebody is working with it. Okay. So this is about the interview functionality. Any question over here?
No, Monali.
Okay. So next is job requisition and job requisition template. So currently, on this instance, you can see these many jobs are available. Okay, there are few templates. Means, for example, some organization they may have like specific to their you can say product or requirement. They have few vacancies which for which they are generally asking every time they are raising the requisition for that. So all those requisitions we can call them as a template, and we can using that HDL method we can you can say export that particular template into the system by using that template sorry templates by using that particular HDL method. So instead of creating new requisition, you can just check this job requisition template. These are the job requisition. There are some interview schedule templates. You can see these are the same one which we have chosen right now. Check. See this. So if your organization, like particular client may want to create new requisition interview schedule template, then they can create from here. Then after this, there are job requisition templates. So job requisition template, you can see analysis. So these are already like client may have already all these requirements in their organization, so they can just create this template into the system and directly we can paste whenever like recruiter are creating the requisition, they can just use this template. So under the use option, there is template option is also there. So you can just paste this template. That's it. So even you can try creating one template and see whether it is appearing on UI or not. And finally, security roles we have already done. Schedule processes. Okay. So I'll just explain this agency and campaign, and then finally we will create offer. So for this agency, so let's have a look at this campaign, and then we'll see that. So campaigns are basically the kind of events, but this particular campaigns we are not posting these campaigns on the career site. Events we are posting on the career site. So those who are having access to our external career site, they only can register for those events, or they only. But what this case of campaign is like if recruiters have some candidates in their pool, like they have some thousands of resume with their skill set. So in such scenario, what the recruiters can do, they can just enter all those candidates into the system. Then they can add those candidates into the pool, and then probably for any kind of requisition, they can create campaign. Like for now, I'll just select hiring veteran. Then there should be one unique code. Then there are different types of mounting. Like we can choose it as a one-time campaign. Then campaign purpose. You can see campaign purpose is applied to job. So applied to job campaigns is if you are if particular candidate is applying for this through this campaign, if particular candidate is applying for a job, then they may choose apply to job. Means particular we are getting the candidate on the requisition. If it is a refer job kind of, the refer job campaign generally for the internal employee. And respond to request means just like for example if there is some activity which is there in the organization, and we just want to know like how many candidates were interested for that event or something, then we can use this respond to request. Currently I'll choose the apply to job. So here you have to give some whole label like just giving that is testing it out. Like this role label will appear on the UI exactly. Since we have selected apply to job, no, it is asking for which exactly requisition we are raising this campaign. So we have to just add the name over here. It is by default showing might be 001 is already there. That's why it is showing error. It will throw an error because the campaign owner name is not there. Okay. Campaign was created, but no one is owner. So this campaign will not visible over here. But like you can try it out with the recruiter login, like Mark Winterling or that Conrad recruiter. Once you have created campaign, now you have option to add audience to that campaign. So through that add audience, Like you can pick all the candidates from the system who are having specific location, who are having specific skill set, or even you can pull the candidate from the candidate pool. And whenever we are choosing that audience, no, a mail is triggered to the particular all the candidates into the system. So that's why that's the way like candidate come to know this is particular requisition. They have vacancy for this particular requisition, and then they can apply through their personal email. So I'll just share the test case around this. So this is the one. All these topics which I'm just giving introduction of, these are generally like in the last sessions we haven't covered all these topics. These are just UI test cases. We don't need to configure anything at the backend. One more that's there, creating recruiting agencies. So agents are the one who are helping organization to get their candidates for the requisition. So here, whenever you are in the setup and maintenance, you have to click on the source candidate. You can see this recruiting agency. So this is the way you can create the agency. By clicking on this add button, you can create any agency. Like for example, for this particular ABC organization, they have these many agencies. You can see the referral type, person specific, job specific. So these are the different parameters they are getting paid and everything. So just like remember, like some only few clients are up for this agencies option. So just make remember that we can create the agency from here, and once I'll just click on this already created agency, and then we can add the agent to that agency. Like for this agency, only one agent is there. If you want to add a more agent, you can add that percentage of successful job applications and everything. So just explore all these things. These are the a few testing test cases where we have to test whether that particular agency are there or not. What is the who are all the agents in the system? Just we have to try login with the agent. So particularly these agents have the role as recruiting agent. You remember on the first day we have seen the role. So this particular agent have role as a recruiting agent. What you can do is just search for this role, recruiting agent, and just try login with recruiting agent. Then you will come to know what. Like currently, I have logged in as a recruiter. That's why you can see this many tabs. But for those agents, they have only me tab. They don't have, I think so, my client group also, and tools tab. Only two or three tabs were there. So just search for the recruiting agents in the system and just try executing the test case. I'll just share few test cases with you. Uh, what I'll do is I'll just update the test cases with the existing test case file. Okay, so you can just try events, agencies, like agent management is there, and one more is campaign management. Okay, till here, any questions so far? Like,
No, Manali.
so these are like I'm not going into deep because specifically we are focusing on the configuration part in this session, and these are very straightforward test cases. Most probably you will get test cases and you just have to execute those. Only on the thing like automation side, those test cases are already developed. You should know the exact flow, so that if a particular test case got failed, so that you can just analyze what was the reason for failing of this particular test. That's why you should know all this flow. That's it. So let's start with the this questionnaire configuration, which is a part of recruitment. So there are many types of questionnaires we have seen. Can anyone just tell me what all different types of questionnaire we have seen as of now?
Questionnaire for which one, Manal?
Like we have while creating job requisition, we have added some interview questionnaire, if you remember.
Yes, yes.
Then one more thing, like along with the interview questionnaire, there were some external pre-screening questionnaire.
Yes, correct.
There were some internal pre-screening questionnaire. So pre-screening are internal and external. And one more is their application question. Where are these application questions are appearing? Any idea? May
While creating requisition, there we have questions.
Yeah, we have interview and pre-screening questionnaire over there, but we have seen application questions. If you
Maybe.
remember, on this external career side, we have seen few questions. Do you have any legal right to work in this country? That's what the question on that
Oh,
external.
yes.
Yeah. So those are the application questions, and we are mapping those questions in that job application flow. So whenever we are creating that job application flow, if you have remembered, there is one section called application questions, and we are just using that block in that job application flow. But we haven't seen where exactly those questions are configured. So all these are part of questionnaire configuration. These are few configuration test cases. So for again the configuration part, we have to navigate to setup and maintenance and just search for the particular questionnaire configuration. If you want, you can just follow me. I'll just pin you the URL, the chat box. Even you can log in with this Iliad clerk. This person also have, I think so, all the right. Or I'll just share my username and password. Use third instance. The username is manali.j. Password is. So under the setup and maintenance, make sure you are in the recruiting and candidate experience offering. You have to learn question. Okay. So you can see there are question library, there are questionnaire template, and there are questionnaire. So we'll go one by one. Just click on question library. So this particular question library is for all the modules. You can see these are the different HR checklists, journey, surveys, sorry, all the questions over here. We'll choose recruiting module. Under this recruiting, if you will expand this question library, there are three types of questions. Interview, disqualification questions are probably those pre-screening questions. Means like based on like particularly for that question, if you see, do you have legal right to work in this country? Or if you want a few more questions, like we are adding those pre-screening questions. So based on that question, we can accept or reject that candidate. Like if particular candidate have chosen that no for that particular, do you have any legal right to work in this country? If particular candidate chosen no, then obviously that candidate will get rejected automatically. So that's why it is called a disqualification question. So this disqualification questions you will see all those under the three case. Do you have the legal right to work in this country? So these are the different questions. So what you can do is, if you want to make some changes, you can just create new version of the questions or update the existing question. Okay, you can see currently, yeah, you can just add something if you want. Currently, you can see the owner for this particular question is this Betty admin. That's why. I'm not able to edit this question. Only the owner can edit that particular question. So you can edit modify the existing question. Then one more, you can just make a copy of those questions and edit the question. Same like application questions. These are for a few interview feedback questions. I'll just copy this question. This is the new question. You can add owner as your own name. I'll just search for my name. Oh, it will show only the employees of the organization. I am only the user, not the employee. That's why it is not populating the value. Just use Curtis. Okay, can see Curtis. I'll just use this Curtis bit. Whose manager is this Mitch Blum. And who is HR. Use this owner as Curtis Pitti. You can mark this particular question as active. Which folder you want the question, that is interview feedback question. So you just keep it as, you can just change the question. I'm just making few changes. Question type, you have to choose, like for this particular question, answer should be single choice, multiple choice, or no response. Only informatory questions. So those are this. And if you choose the multiple choice, you can see the multiple options were available. You have to provide the score, maximum score, minimum score. You can add this multiple choice. This they have already added this. Okay. So currently they have kept it as a single choice. Again for the single choice, they have given some parameter like if someone has chosen this description, then score this. If someone has chosen this description, then give score this. So based on like questions, based on the scoring, they are just giving interview feedback and all those can be configured. So this is a section. Question library is where we are configuring questions. Okay, just go to questionnaire template. So just select recruiting, do blank search. All the questions you can see, these are the templates, interview feedback template. So you can configure template from here. If you want to create new template for particular questionnaire, like application question or this interview question, so you can just create your own template and add question to those templates. Just try creating template. And finally, once we have created this template, you have to map all those from question library. Questions will connected to the questionnaire template, and after that it will come up over here as a questionnaire. Like you can see, there are so many questions in the question library. Okay, but only few questions are populating on UI. So here in the questionnaire section, we are adding those questions. This is the interview feedback question. Currently, nothing is there in the interview feedback question. If you want to add, you can just click on create, and you can just have to give the name of question or questionnaire template ID, and from there you can just pull out the question. Interview feedback questions. Currently, these are the questions in the interview feedback. Nurse interview feedback, physician interview feedback, all those. Then job application flow, no questions are there. Pre-screening question. So how this flow is working, basically, we have to create the question. You have to create the questions in questions library. From there, you will map those questions to questionnaire template. And those questionnaire template will just pull out in questionnaires. Okay. So these are some pre-screening questionnaires. It is showing some error. So this is the way we can configure the questions library. Okay. So just try exploring this thing. At least try creating one question. You have already seen one question on the questionnaire library. I'll just show you where we are mapping those questions. We have configured over there, like in the interview feedback, we have some sets of questions. Under the nurse template, we have some sets of questions. While creating requisition, because see, if you use this template, you can choose the template based on whatever the recruitment type and all this. For now, I'll just select existing requisition. Important value. Application questions are appearing on a career site, but only the pre-screening and interview questions you can add it from here. We have created this flex field yesterday. These are the two fields which we have added yesterday. These are called as flex fields. So this one we have marked it as a mandatory. That's why enter this value. Okay. These are some posting descriptions. Okay. The last section is questionnaire section. So here pre-screening questionnaire and interview questionnaire you can add. Okay. You can see internal pre-screening question, external pre-screening. Internal pre-screening is specifically for the internal employee. So those who are applying for the job through as an internal candidate through that opportunity marketplace, for them, if you want to do few questions, what is the topic? Okay, I'll add this question. Here there are directly questions. If you want to mark this as a required response, you can mark it as a required response. One more question I'll add. Okay. So these are, I'm just adding to this requisition. Just after this session, just check whether these two questions are appearing for the internal candidate or not on that internal career site. These are the external pre-screening questionnaire. So in the same questions, because you are seeing there is no different section for internal external. All the pre-screening questions are configured at the same place. Only the thing based on the recruiter's requirement, they can just pull out those questions over here. Okay, question already deleted. Just use added this one more. What is the top area HR? So this question will appear on the external content. Currently, there was only one question. Do you have the legal right to work in this country, which is mandatory one. Now I have added this more question. whenever there is question code as ORC means these are the questions which are provided by Oracle, seeded questions. If there is some other question code, then you can just check whether there is some. No one has created any questions on this instance as of now. That's why it is not showing up. So this is the way you can add the questions. And finally, interview questionnaire will appear for the interviewer whenever we are scheduling interview for the candidate. So whoever is the interviewer, no, that particular person can view this interviewer questionnaire. You can see interview feedback. These are the templates. Interview feedback template, nurse interview feedback. So these are the list of questions which are mapped to this particular template. So for now, if this is particular requisition for nurse, then nurse interview feedback question got added. Okay, you can see this is attached by here. Okay. So you will not see this interviewer questionnaire. Only the interviewer can see. So if you are scheduling interview for this requisition and you are adding the interview as particular person like Curtis Pitti or Mark interview or someone, only that user login have access to this interviewer questionnaire. So with questions and just click on submit. So this is the way we can configure the question. So what we have left to, we have done with this questionnaire, only this approval rules and checklist. So pending. Okay. Any questions?
Manali, I have one question.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
go ahead.
Um, no, this one like in setup and maintenance, where we'll find that questionnaire actually.
Just click on setup and maintenance and search for the questions. You
Yeah, I
will
tried, but it's not showing up, so that's why.
which same instance.
Yeah, I logged into Manali.
Yes, yes, I'm on the same instance. Just search for the question. You are in this offering recruiting and candidate experience.
Yes, correct. Yeah, recruiting and candidate experience.
Yeah,
Yes.
just search for questions.
No task associated to the enabled functional areas and features of this offering were found.
Just only we have seen. Just type question. It is under candidate job application.
Job application.
Just click on candidate job application and select the all tasks. You can see question library, questionnaire templates, and questionnaire.
Okay. Candidate job application. I tried, but
Just
okay.
see this filter. From here, you have to choose all tasks.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. 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 Maybe that one. Ah, yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's there. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Still, we have 10 minutes, so I'll just give some introduction on how to create offer, which is again we don't need to configure those things. It is just part of test case execution. I have already given that task to you, but for the earlier batches also, I have seen that students are not doing that execution. So I'll just give you brief introduction so that at least you will get some idea. There are few questions in the interview, and you should know all the things. So just maybe get to this. If you remember, we have learned the phases. So there are different phases. We have configured those phases in CSP. So new, then screening, then interview, and finally there are two phases, offer and HR, which are for standard requisitions. We don't have option to edit these two phases, and these are, you can call it as a final phase. So how system is working, like whenever like some client may go for these different phases. Generally what the project I have worked, generally client have new screening, interview and selection, and finally the thing offer and HR. So I'll just go to hiring. I will not create any candidate or something. I'll just use whatever is already there. So uh, for this requisition, you can see total 16 candidates were there who were applied for the requisition. So some candidates on the new phase, some are the screenings. I'll just open one candidate. So obviously recruiters, what they will do, they will move from this candidate from one page to another, screening to interview. For now, I'll just consider, I'll just move this candidate from interview and selection. This is like standard process. Once they have done with the screening, you can move them to interview and selection. You can see when you are clicking on these options, there are collect feedback. So collect feedback is basically for those like once we have done with the interview, right? Then recruiter wants to collect feedback from the interviewer. In that case, they are using, you have to just navigate to requisition, then go to that particular candidate. All these steps are we are performing as a recruiter only. Just click on this collect feedback. There are few steps like they are asking for the recruiter name, interviewer name, what are questions you want to, what are things you want to collect from the interviewer. You just have to give that. Then there are check duplicates. Particularly, I'll just copy this candidate. So if you check for the duplicates means recruiter just have to ensure that this particular candidate has applied with us earlier or not, whether this is a contractor, whether this is a rehire fee. So you have to just enter the candidate name. Okay. There is no name over here. You can just click on the email. You can just click on this name. Okay, nothing comes up. Just go back. And see these, there are gray colors, so there are different color combinations are given based on the duplicate check. A particular person have like some kind of information. There are different. Okay, you see there are different identifiers like national identifiers. There are person with the same name, same date of birth, same address, same employment. All these things are same. Then we can consider that particular match score is given as this. This is particular background. It is checking. If all these five parameters are same for two candidates, then we can mark it as a red color. If national identifier like SSN number, PAN card, all those are the same for two candidates, then we can mark them as different colors are given to this duplicate check. If it is yellow colors means along with the name, only one identifier, either date of birth, either address, either education, something is matching, then it is in yellow color. So based on the color, they have given this duplicate check functionality. You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there is some. So finally, when we have done with the interview, these are various functionalities over there. And you can see the send interview. Some of the functionality we have to enable through the backend, through the CSV configuration. Request interview to be scheduled. So we are requesting interviewer for the interview scheduling. Or one thing, add to requisition, add to event, like particular candidate you may want to add for the another requisition. You may want to add this candidate for another event, so you can have all those options. Finally, this interview is done and everything is done. I'll move this candidate to offer phase. Whenever you are clicking this particular candidate to offer phase, by default it will show to be created phase only. Other phase states are locked. You have to click on save and close. Now this is offer to be created. But if you click over here, you will see currently there is no option for offer creation because for this requisition, recruiter is some other person. Only recruiter can create offer for this candidate. So I'll just check who is the recruiter and we will just try login with that recruiter only. Which requisition? 16th one. This hiring manager, and this one is the recruiter. So we have already done with today's timing. So what I'll do is just remember that we for creating offer we have to move that candidate from interview phase to the offer phase. Whenever there for that particular candidate, the state will be to be created and phase will be offer phase. Then only you can create the offer. So in tomorrow's session, we'll just see how we recruiter can create the offer, and then probably we will move to that particular part approval rules. This offer creation have a few more sections over there and different functionalities over there. So we'll see in tomorrow's session. Do one thing. I'll ask any one of you. Just reset password for this user. I'll just ping you. And for the same instance, hope if instance is there for tomorrow, then we can probably continue with the same data, or else I'll choose some different user. Okay. I'm just explaining all these phase and state because for each and every phase and each and every state, we have configured some actions. So only those buttons or those tabs got enabled for that particular candidate, for that particular requisition. So there are so many other. Okay. So just try practicing tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow there will be one session, and probably on Monday. Like this is also an important one checklist part. This approval is a little technical, but I think you should know exactly how to configure this. An onboarding checklist. So many customers are opt for recruiting with onboarding module. Currently, onboarding model is much required for the client, so we are taking this part as onboarding checklist, and this is new to this release. Like only this 2024, they have launched this functionality, onboarding checklist, or we can call it as a journey. Okay, so you can't see these options in our syllabus, but we have to learn this. Okay, then just prepare at this weekend. So probably by Monday we will finishing with this syllabus, or we will take Monday, Tuesday. If you have any doubts, like we can connect on Thursday, like after 2 days, then we can discuss whatever doubts were there, and then probably after 2 3 days, or in the probably in the next week, next week, you will be ready for the interviews. So we have
Okay.
done progress. Interview is like someone is asking me the question. So interview will be